So this is Liberty's leadoff hitter. That's Savannah Woodard, the second baseman from Alabama. Waves and misses, so we're underway just a couple minutes after 1 Central Time. Here is Dot Richardson's lineup card, presented by Capital One. Woodard has been a staple at the top. Rachel Roop, very dangerous hitter in the 2-hole. And it was the top of the order yesterday for Liberty that really made some noise. Bryn McManus also went yard. 6 combined hits for Woodard, Roop, and McManus in the win yesterday. Kennedy blows that one by Woodard to get this game started.
I mean, we were talking about the different levels, the different ways that Kennedy can go. This one, she starts out strong with a strikeout, that lower outer half of that plate. You're going to see her expand her zone throughout the game.
Kennedy, she's been the frontline starter here for several seasons in Aggie land. Misses outside there to Roop, so she's got a favorable count. Led the league in wins. Was top 10 in everything else. And one of the many, several 20-game winners we have in our regional here, Bryan-College Station. But she's fallen behind Roop here. Who's been very selective this at-bat, a good eye. And so she'll make Kennedy work for it. Winner of this game to the regional final tomorrow. And at that point, all you need is 1 victory on Sunday. Double elimination format. So some team would have to beat the winner of this one twice on Sunday in consecutive games. That time Roop was late on the heat. And so Kennedy has worked the count full.
Definitely knows Rachel Roop. That's the hitter in this lineup that you underline, you star. You know she's an offensive threat. You don't want to give her anything too far on the plate because she'll make up for it. Just like that
time she bounces that through the right side. She got the barrel of the bat on that pitch. Was obviously late on the heat, but hits it where they are not.
I mean, this one going down in the zone, that drop ball that Kennedy has, that's a hard pitch to get elevated. And a lot of times that's where you see hitters fall into trouble with drop balls, trying to do too much. Nice job by Roop, just keeping that barrel angle nice and flat for the drop ball. I think that's going to be the big game plan here for Liberty as they face against Emily Kennedy.
It's a 48-win team that Texas A&M has to face here in the second game of the weekend. And Rachel Roop secures the second straight base hit for the visiting Flames, who have been havoc wreakers in recent years of this regional round. Remember, they won this game a year ago against Georgia, the 11 national seed in last year's tournament.
Yeah, definitely familiar with this type of situation, not intimidated at all. I think this is the matchup, like you said, where you have been all looking forward to.
Now Bryn McManus, who went deep in yesterday's game, takes that for a strike.
Nice pitch there on the inside corner. You can see Kennedy working both sides of the plate. She's able to locate that drop ball very, very well on those corners. That's what makes her so good. She's able to spot that drop ball. Not only does it have movement, but location.
Well, pardon me, this is Alyssa Hennault. Texas A&M trying to turn a 4-6-3 double play. Hennault beats that throw out by a fraction. So you got runners at the corners as of now with 2 outs.
And this is what you're going to see a lot of double play opportunities for this Aggie defense with that drop ball from Kennedy. This defense, in the past several years, their numbers have just increased year after year after year. Definitely something that I think a lot of teams overlook is how quickly can you get rid of the ball? How do you read a ball off the barrel? All those little things, they add up, and that's why A&M, their defense has been stellar.
Yeah, that's a professional turn there from Demet at second. Runner holds it third. KK Madry beats out the bunt, and the bases are loaded. That one was towards the third base side. Powell fielded it quickly, and so they are loaded. in the first for the Flames.
KK Madry, closing speed. She's already fast, but once she gets going about halfway to first, that's where you see her kick it into gear. And as good as that defense is, there's nothing you can do to defend a bunt like that. Liberty, they're coming out hot. They are expecting to put up a fight. They expect this to be a challenge, a battle. They're showing every bit of it here in first.
Well, Dodd Richardson won a national championship at UCLA. First pitch, foul tipped into the mitt. Paige Dorr, this is the sophomore who was so clutch in the Conference USA tournament last week. Had a walk-off base hit in one of those games in an elimination game of that tournament. Swings and bounces that one foul. So Kennedy, despite all of the drama here in the first inning, is one strike away from getting out of it.
And there's where that experience comes in, right? You've been there, you've done that. Yes, the bases are loaded, but you also have 2 outs and a great defense. I like this game plan that she set up, 2 tight pitches inside, making her feel you. Maybe
Texas A&M faces today Elena Escobar, the pitcher of the year in Conference USA.
There's the question right there for Liberty. She's undoubtedly the ace for this team. She really carries a majority of the innings. Can she go the distance? Not just today, which is the most important one, but looking at this bracket as a whole, looking at this regional as a whole, can she help carry her team all the way to the finish line? That is where Liberty has fallen short the past few years. Today, they got to get through the #1 seed in the entire country, Texas A&M.
Kennedy Powell, Coco Woolley, Maya Perez, 1, 2, 3 in the order. Escobar yesterday, 6 innings, pitched into the 7th in the win against Marist. At one point in that game, in the middle inning, she was nearly unhittable. At one point retired 9 of 10 hitters. Gave up 3 homers, though, and ultimately 5 earned in 6 innings before she was lifted for Paige Bachman. Misses in tight that time. By the way, Brett Higgins, our home plate umpire. Kaylee Young's at first. Mike Burrell over at second. Garrett Knowles is the third base umpire. Powell lifts that one down the left field line. Paige Dorr has that one handled. 1 away. So what is critical for Escobar today against #1 in the nation?
You look at that first line, she has a dominant rise ball. She's able to hit that on multiple levels. That is the key right there. You'll see the curve every now and then, about 20%, but being able to throw that rise ball at different levels and then adding in that change. You might not see it as much in the beginning. Later on in this game, you'll see it.
Coco Woolley takes that one on the outside corner. Doesn't love it. This is the senior from LaPorte, Texas, one of the purest hitters in the SEC, and has had an exceptional last couple of weeks at the plate. Slashes that foul.
Coco Woolley is a leader. She has really cemented herself, her legacy here at Texas A&M. She's reached base safely in 15 of her last 17 plate appearances. The other 2, she only reached via error and a fielder's choice.
That's absurd. This is a rarity, folks, what you just saw, the bounce out to third. So 2 quick outs for Escobar. Maya Perez hits next, the most dangerous bat in the order.
And you think about the kind of danger that Perez presents whenever she comes up to bat. You have Powell, who consistently gets on. You have Woolley, like we were just talking about. She gets on way more often than she does not. And right now, that was huge that Liberty was able to get those 2 very big threats that A&M utilizes often, and the speed. There's no one on base for this big bat.
Yeah, Woolley is always a threat to go. And swipe bases, had one yesterday. So 1-0 pitch to Perez. This has been her breakout sophomore campaign. All-conference first-team selection after she finished 3rd in the league in hitting at the end of the regular season and blasted 14 homers. Big rip, but Escobar is in the driver's seat.
That's one thing about Perez. She's not scared to swing hard. If she misses, but more often than not, whenever that barrel makes contact, if you're committed to a swing.
Escobar.
And they play like they're ranked in the top 25. They look like a top 25 team from their pitching to their hitting, heck, to their facilities where that nice and quick watch party was.
They've been the most dangerous mid-major program in America for years. You know, remember 2 years ago they knocked out the #2 overall seed UCLA in an elimination game. So they are the havoc wreakers. Emily Kennedy back in the circle. That is the ultra dependable veteran from the Woodlands, Texas, All-American a year ago, All-Conference this season. And gets Rachel Crane, the senior, to swing through that one. So 7, 8, and 9 in the order in the second for Liberty after they loaded the bases. But for a second straight game, Nicole, they leave the bases loaded in the first inning. 2-1 is struck foul.
In that first game, they ended up winning soundly 10-5. But against a team like Texas A&M, if you have the opportunity to have bases loaded and you leave that opportunity wasted, you go out of that without scoring a run, you're going to be kicking yourself a little bit.
Boy, that one just misses. Very close.
I mean, this is as close as you can get. That is a beautiful location. Look at Mac Barber behind the plate, just framing that ball perfectly.
Well, that time the hitter did not offer. You would have thought that that one caught enough of the outside edge of the plate. Now that's ball 4. So I thought that third pitch definitely caught the letters. This one, does it get enough of the outside edge?
I think this one is farther out on that corner. But again, Mac Barber behind the plate does a good job bringing that. You can see they wanted that swing. I think there was some momentum from the pitch prior. The biggest thing is we're here in the second inning. You're still learning your strike zone. You're still learning, okay, where is he calling it, where is he not? This is what you do as a pitcher.
First pitch to Savannah Jesse is bounced over to Powell. She's got one play, and that's to first. Yeah, it did appear that they had a better case for ball 3 than ultimately the pitch that was out of the zone there that allowed Crane to walk. So she's in scoring position, and this is Savannah Watley. Very talented hitter, newcomer of the year in the conference. In her second game back from an injury. Remember, she suffered a couple of concussions earlier this season. So pinch runner for Rachel Crane, the third baseman. And Don Richardson sensing, hey, this is a big opportunity to push one across. Norris to pinch run.
Here we go, Liberty, 1 out, runner in scoring position, and that defense that we talked about, usually so solid. Powell just a quick bobble. What could have been an easy double play, no runners on, 2 outs. Now you have 1 out with a runner at second, and a lot of speed, like you mentioned, pinch runner.
This is a good hitter in the 9-hole. Wiley hit .364 this season, and OPS above 1,000.
Just
bit of a sarcastic applause there from the crowd.
Finally, there it is. That's what the crowd's saying.
That's in the air, fading out to left. Eshte underneath it, 2 gone. So let's see if Kennedy and the Aggies will strand runners in scoring position for a second straight inning. This is Savannah Woodard, who years ago faced A&M in this league. She started her career at Alabama, 3 seasons there, hit the portal, 3rd and final season with Liberty. And she has thrived this season. Career numbers for the veteran from Warrior, Alabama. That's nubbed foul.
Like you said, no stranger to facing each other. You can see Kennedy with these lefties for Liberty. She is really attacking that low and in. You're seeing a lot of drop balls, just very tight. Like you said, she can spot it pretty good.
Slow roller to first, that'll do it. So 2 scoreless innings for Kent for the first time since that 2017 season. And they were a very fitting #1 seed for the first time ever. Mac Barber leads off, faces Elena Escobar. 4, 5, and 6, 2 up for A&M. The senior from Spring Hill, Tennessee, went 1, 2, 3 in the first. Really good start for Escobar. Barber has been an X factor game changer for the program. Acquired her in the portal last season.
Another player who's familiar with SEC, started off in the SEC, ended up transferring out, and then transferred back to A&M to finish off her career.
There's Trisha Ford, who has orchestrated this Aggie resurgence.
Here, a little commotion down from the dugout on that pitch. Looks like they're trying to pick that changeup from Escobar.
That's rolled over to Watley. One away. Watley wears that protective mask.
And we talked about her bat. It's not easy as somebody on offense going in and out, missing those live reps, but also on defense, having to wear the mask. Had a couple of concussions, had an injury with her teeth. Just been struggling all season long just to stay healthy for a stretch of time. It's her first time, didn't even get to play in the conference tournament last weekend.
What a welcome bat and just presence on the field in her return here for the postseason. Amari Harper had a day yesterday. She's had a heck of a week. She's 6 for her last 6 at the plate, going back to that semifinal win in the SEC tournament last week against Texas, and has knocked in 12 runs in the last 2 games. And this was her blast yesterday.
I mean, elevated over the plate slightly, and that is one place that you do not want to leave it for Amari Harper. She has been just crushing the ball. She's looking for something similar here this at-bat.
We saw a whole lot of bubbles in the first 2 innings. We've yet to see them yet.
A lot of bubbles, a tradition that started over at baseball for Texas A&M. Brought it over to softball, and I have to say, I think it's one of my favorites. You know, nothing like a bubble brings you back to your childhood. You're getting to pop them, you're seeing it in the crowd, gets everyone involved.
We need to get a couple up here.
Could we get some bubble guns up here?
Yeah, 2-2 is high. I'd like to join in on the fun. $18 runs yesterday, so that is 18 times that the fans were launching those bubble guns. 3-2. So that is a 1-out walk, and Amari Harper reaches base once again. So that is, she's now 7 for 7 in the tournament. Or part of it, she's 5 out of 5 if you want to look at it that way in this regional round. Reached base all 4 times yesterday. And yes, 10 straight plate appearances. Yeah, that's coming prepared, by the way. That's the real bubble machine. KK Dement, freshman from Selma, California, has handled herself so well in this rookie season.
Yeah, so well. Speaking of having a good eye, she walked 3 times, and as much offense as you were getting, it's so easy as a hitter to go, I want to join in on the action. I see the girl in front of me just crushing these balls. I want to go in too, but knowing I have to be patient.
So here's what's going to happen here. That the catcher, Savannah Jesse, is bringing the towel out to Alena Escobar. It is hot.
Miles late putting it.
Yeah, at College Station this weekend. It feels, right now the temperature is 90 degrees. It feels like 101.
There's that southern humidity. It's no joke. You got the umbrellas. There's been a lot of fans out here. I'm seeing a lot of hats, which is good. That one's a mega hat and a fan. She's doing double duty.
Can we borrow that?
Can we get a bubble gum?
We're getting a little needy, you're right.
A fan, giant jumbo hat.
2-0 pitch to Dement is fouled back. You know, we're talking to some folks around the program.
I mean, she looks so cool.
Yeah. It's a good look, by the way.
It is.
It's been a relatively mild spring here. So this is the hottest it has been this year in Bryan-College Station. The Texas summer heat came early. 2 runners on now for the Aggies.
This is being ready whenever the opportunity comes, being patient until that pitch that is within your plan comes to play. not trying to do too much, letting Escobar tunnel that ball down. That is where she has less movement. You're going to have an easier swing path. On the rise ball, her swing and miss rate is over 40%. Texas A&M trying to make her bring that ball down.
There's one of the veterans, Allie Enright. Senior from Santa Clarita, California, 3rd year with the program. And one last ride, one of the many players that are using the tournament exit from a season ago as the major fuel this season. Enright's got a good count. They were so close twice. They almost KO'd the #1 seed a year ago in Texas, lost in 3 games in the Super Regional. And I think, Alex.
I like this timeout. We've heard the dugout multiple times this game. Just pick the pitch, call the pitch. And you can see the shakeup. It looks like it's rattling Escobar just a little bit, not too much. She's not missing by much, but enough to be able to throw her focus. Add in that combined with this heat, you can see her just kind of fanning herself. They're not used to this. They're from the East Coast. I think it gets down to the 40s still in the evenings. This is a very different temperature. This is a high intensity game. So just resetting really, really quick. I mean, look at that weather.
That says it all, by the way. And it has gotten warmer in Lynchburg this weekend. Lynchburg, of course, the home to the Liberty Flames. I think it was high 70s, you know, just a couple of days ago. And you definitely saw Escobar just trying to reset and refocus. And that was Casey Fagan, the pitching coach, who walked out there. So a chance for Texas A&M to score first. 2-0 pitch to Enright is foul tipped off the mitt. Just a smart decision by that staff to slow things down for the senior from Spring Hill, Tennessee. Pitcher of the year in Conference USA. Off speed, falls in for a strike. Or rather, they say that one was a bit up, so the catch, 3 balls and a strike. Pardon me. Enright, favorable count. Swings and misses.
She came up big for the Aggies yesterday. Like we were talking about this A&M lineup, it is a gauntlet 1 through 9. There's not a lot of off time that they get. The one thing that I have really seen with their offense, Jeff Parker, he's done a fantastic job just being able to help explain hitting in a way that simplifies it for hitters. He's not going to try to make it complicated. The ball's up, let's look down. Keep it simple.
Big pitch here, 3-2. Foul tip, so Enright has fouled off a couple of pitches here. Swing, hard bouncer to short. Watley knocks it down. No play anywhere. That one ate her up there. Bases are full.
And Watley just getting eaten up a little bit. Look at where she is set up right there. And right as that ball is starting to come across, you see that runner coming into view. She's pretty deep. Would like to see her take a step or 2 in. Whenever you let that ball eat you up a little bit, that's where you fall into trouble. This field plays pretty true on the infield. You'll get pretty solid bounces, so you don't have to worry about, is there going to be a bad hop here or there? You can charge that pretty quickly.
First threat for Texas A&M. Infield is in with the bags full, 1 away. And Kramer Eshte is the hitter. Number 8 hitter in the lineup. Senior from Brenham, Texas, who has a terrific on-base percentage. Gets on base more than 400% of the time, or has an on-base percentage better than 400. Big spot for the senior. Escobar delivers, takes a little off that one. And she gets ahead of the senior.
You look back to Liberty, the position that they were in back in the first. Bases loaded. Weren't able to get that score.
Couldn't get the run in.
This is where you look back and you go, man, I wish we had gotten one. Right? I wish we pushed one across. I would feel a little bit better in this situation.
Just a little low. Count goes full.
This zone pretty tight consistently for both sides. I feel like it's pretty even, but it is tight. If it's low, it's low.
3-2 is chopped, fielded right on the line. The throw is home, and the runner's out. Crane throws to the plate. Jesse caught it, had to leap. And now you're getting the protest from the Texas A&M dugout. Are they going to say that Crane, Jesse, when she leaped for it, the runner slid in before the foot came back down? And so the call right now is out. Would be the second out in this second. Watch it. And where is it fielded to? That's another caveat.
And the point is going to be, did that foot get in before she touched her body? And from this angle, it looks like that toe might have gotten in before the tag.
Well, any part of the body here, if she has possession.
At the play. Further review.
So you just saw our crew chief say this call is going to be under review. Watch this. She's got control now. Any part of the body.
So the foot's on the plate and then the tag happens. That's the thing right there. So what happens here? Bases loaded. Even though it is a force, she has to have, the catcher has to have her foot on the base before that runner touches it for a force play. What happened there is she didn't tag her. Her foot wasn't on the base, and that toe just slipped right in. So foot's in, then the tag happens. And that is what's being disputed here. That's why Ford is asking, is there any way that that could have happened? So there's no tag, and then the tag is applied after the foot is on. Now, to overturn this play, it has to be indisputable. Just based on what we've seen, all the different angles and the looks that we've gotten, I would say I would overturn it. I would call her safe. And again, there has to be a tag applied. There's bases loaded. It's a force play, no matter what. So it's a force play. The foot either has to be on the bag as a defender, or you have to tag.
The ruling on the field has been changed. The runner is declared safe, and it's Texas A&M's first challenge.
Great call, partner, and it gives A&M the 1-0 advantage.
Well, we talked about the bubbles. Here they come in full force. This A&M dugout getting pumped up. Big celebration as the Aggies, they strike first in a big fashion. I mean, this was as close as you can get. We saw a few close plays yesterday. But it really does come down to, this is the game of inches, milliseconds, whatever it may be. It's a tight, quick game.
Now it's the 9-hitter, Kelsey Mathis, takes that one for a strike. Just a critical moment. And another play that is determined just by a couple of fractions there.
And Escobar, she's had two really, really great pitches, great outings against some tough hitters, but back-to-back just defensive miscues. So she should have been out of that inning by now without a run scored. That's into shallow right. Here comes Roop, dives, it's in.
One run scores. Throw comes to the plate. 2-0 A&M.
Rachel Roop out in right field. I mean, just giving it all she has, but that one is right on the line, just as close can be. But I will say that effort, that full stretch, that saved a run. The Aggies, they got one run across, but not two. Whenever you see an outfielder tracking as a base runner, you have to respect that. You have to be cautious.
Kennedy Powell, the leadoff hitter, went after that pitch up in the zone. 2 runs are in for the #1 seed in the field. Escobar and Liberty, they retired the first hitter to begin the frame. And Harper walked, Dement singled, and then Enright reached on the error. That loaded the bases. Then we saw the play at the plate. Mathis with the looper down the right field line. It's 2-0. And a nice catch, by the way.
Gotta have quick hands if you're going to be here in this ballpark. We saw some foul balls flying yesterday.
Well, more than 2,000 in the yard yesterday for A&M's win. That's a bouncer with the infield in. Watley mishandles it, and another run comes home. 3-0 A&M.
And this is where you call time as a defense. You've had 4 straight defensive. I hesitate to call Mathis's pop fly a miscue, but 4 in a row where the glove has touched the ball. There has been some kind of play, and defense needs a second to reset. I would love a timeout, especially with the top half of this Aggie lineup. Coco Woolley, who's so consistent.
She foul tips it into the mid. This is the 8th hitter to the plate. There's only 1 out in this second. They're still loaded. Outside corner for a strike. Woolley, career numbers, .403 batting average this season. She grounded out to third back in the first inning, but even despite that, as we mentioned previously, she's reached safely in 15 of her last 18 plate appearances. Dialed in.
Talk about a total difference from this offense for the Aggies. First inning, it was 1-2-3. This time around, they're almost all the way through the lineup.
Escobar retired the first 4. Then she walked a batter. As you mentioned before, we haven't really seen any major blast into the gaps. No extra base hits just yet, but balls that have been put into play. 41 pitches this inning. Woolley waits on the off speed. The tag, throw to first, little late, and so another run comes home. That was Woodard at second, who tagged Powell. Could not get it to first base to beat out the very speedy Woolley. It's a 4-run second for Texas A&M.
This is what you didn't want. Speed on the corners, first and third, and Mariah Perez up.
She could do damage.
Puts a lot of options in play as well. You could have a hit and run on. I mean, you can trust her to hit just about anything. You can get a runner at first who has a lot of speed, kind of come around to score.
Big swing. Perez comes up empty. 14 homers this year. That led the team. Has driven in 68 runs. 0-1 is in the air. Not deep enough. Madry charging, and the inning is over. But Texas A&M scores 4 runs. Couple of errors. A&M capitalizes on some Liberty miscues. Early in the inning, there was an error on fielding that ground ball from Savannah Watley. With the bases loaded, a high throw from Rachel Crane allowed Texas A&M's Amari Harper to score. And then the second fielding error committed by the Liberty defense a few moments later. So Texas A&M scores 4 runs with only 2 hits. That's it in that second inning.
Well, it comes down to clean defense. That's what it is. And whenever we were talking to Liberty, that was kind of their Achilles heel the past several regionals. Supers, that time, okay, we're 1 out away. We're so close.
So it's the top of the order, by the way, that faces Emily Kennedy in the third. Rachel Roop, Bryn McManus, Alyssa Henault. Now the good news for Liberty is they have had at least 1 runner in scoring position in each of the first 2 innings against Kennedy. That is the All-American who was trying to get Rachel Roop to chase that time. She does not. Roop is the senior from Sharpsburg, Maryland. Player of the year in the conference. She thrived, hit 20 homers, 18 doubles. Waves and misses that time. Second strikeout for Kennedy.
Nice pitch here by Kennedy. Just kind of picking up where A&M left off offensively. We've really seen her working that arm side as a lefty. Both 2 righties and lefty hitters. Just really pounding the zone. And I think the biggest thing is she's been consistent. May not get every single call that she wants. We saw that last inning, but she's going to stay consistently in that location. She's getting the swings. She's getting those hitters to chase after it, getting them to nibble.
Such a skilled, talented senior. Program veteran, 4th season in those Aggie colors. So 1 last ride. Off speed. Falls in for a strike. Bryn McManus now has to protect. McManus singled back in that first inning. But now the stakes have changed since that point.
And I'll still say it. I think this is still a bit of a pitcher's duel, a back and forth. The score doesn't reflect that, but it's been more so miscues from Liberty defense. But both of these pitchers have done a phenomenal job.
Well, this was McManus yesterday. Opposite field blast in the second inning in the 10-5 win against Marist. That was a 4-run second inning for Liberty. They find themselves on the wrong end of the score today. McManus does not chase that time. Well, you're right on. All of those runs should be unearned for Escobar. McManus lifts it out to left. Eshte is there. 2 gone. Henault to hit next.
We always talk about how the game of softball is such a momentum game. Who can grab that momentum first? Who can hang on to it? Who can steal it away? Whatever it may be. But right now it feels like it's squarely in this Aggie dugout. And they feel like they're in the driver's seat right now in this inning.
Kennedy has retired 5 in a row now. Henault reached on the fielder's choice last time at the plate. Now she has been the lefty who has logged a whole lot of innings for this program the last couple of seasons. You know, last year Kennedy threw more than 50% of her team's innings. This season, usage rate went down a bit. Tricia Ford describes her as someone who just always figures out ways to win the game. Into shallow center. This is Enright. Can't get to it. And Henault has a base hit. So the senior, in just her 9th start of the season, had a base hit yesterday and another one today. So a 2-out base runner for the Flames. KK Madry to hit next.
I mean, that's how they got that rally going back in the first. It wasn't those overwhelming power shots. It was a hit, past the bat, a bunt. See Madry showing again. I mean, her bunt was beautiful. And accordingly, we've seen Powell, I mean, she's starting at that halfway point, crashing pretty hard. I'm looking at that for Madry. I might try to hit it past her.
Boy, she lifts this one. It's chasing in right back, and it hits halfway off the fence. Henolt's going to score. Throw to the circle. It's an RBI triple for KK Madry.
Kennedy not happy with that one, but that's exactly what the game plan is. This one on the outer half of the corner, but whenever you show that bunt, you had a successful bunt, your first at bat, you show it the first pitch, that defense adjusts accordingly. It wasn't just Powell that was in tight, it was that outfield as well. In right, she was kind of in the middle of the logo in the outfield. That's a far run to be able to not only track that down, make that catch, but get it in.
Oh, here's a blast. Paige Dorr, first pitch swinging, and this is gone. A response from Liberty.
I just talked about momentum. Can you swing it back into your dugout? Can you get it back your way? Paige Dorr, first pitch, inner half of the corner. We talked about how Kennedy has been going in that location against lefties. And you can tell Liberty made the adjustment, and that was their plan. Within a couple of swings, they are right back in this game. It's 4-3 A&M, but you have really, really hot hitter Rachel Crane coming up to bat.
A two-out rally. 3 consecutive hits, Henold single, the Madry triple, and then the 2-run blast. 1-run game. Crane walked in the second inning. Was moved over to second base in that frame, and she was pitch run for.
We knew this game was going to be a battle, though. We talked about it. I feel like since Thursday we've been saying, yes, this is going to be a matchup. This is going to be the game to watch. Whichever team gets out of this, they're going to have a huge advantage, not only a rest day, but their team, their defense, getting that rest as well.
Down the line, but foul. It always felt like Liberty was the top challenger to Texas A&M in this regional pod. 10-5 win yesterday after a season filled with countless wins against power conference programs. Battle-tested Flames. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Kennedy. Liberty response. Years. Entertaining start. Aletta Escobar back in the circle. The pitcher of the year in Conference USA faces 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Mac Barber, that's the catcher. Amari Harper and KK DeMint. So 3 very talented hitters in this very complete and balanced A&M lineup. Count evens at a ball and a strike. A&M Nicole scored 4 in the bottom of the second, and Liberty responds with 3 more in the top half of the third.
On your screen, you had just seen Savannah Watley made a couple of errors. Talked about the mask that she was wearing, had 2 concussions, had her teeth issues with that after getting hit. But we've also talked about the heat. And whenever you wear sunglasses or goggles or glasses, those tend to fog up a little bit in that heat. Well, imagine that with a whole mask across your face. No mask in sight this inning. I think she probably ditched it.
Barbara gets underneath this one. It's got some carry to it. There's enough yard, and Dorr makes the catch.
And at the end of the day, you have to be able to make the play, and like you see there, missed 7 games due to injury, and it wasn't 7 consecutive. It was she was in, she was out, she was in, she was out. Now that she's back in, she doesn't want anything. This game is too big for her. And that's a real issue whenever it comes to softball this time of year. if you're having to wear a mask, sunglasses, goggles, whatever it may be, it fogs it up. It makes it difficult to see. We saw two very uncharacteristic miscues from her, and both you and I were wondering what's going on defensively.
Very much a byproduct of what we just saw in the bottom half of the second inning. To just get rid of it, at least for this half inning. 1-1 pitch to Amari Harper. That's down and away. Because that was a very uncharacteristic two-error bottom half of the second. But her team has her back in this situation. 3 runs over the course of a few pitches from Emily Kennedy.
Kind of the point I was thinking exactly as Harper, she draws that walk. She's patient. If she's not going to get a hit, she's going to get on by a walk. And patient is what she has been. Patient is what Liberty is. They don't want to give her anything too much, but you look at this part in the A&M lineup, a lot of run production comes from this area. What better way to say, hey, I got your back to your pitcher, to Escobar, than scoring 3 runs as you're about to come up to the heart of the A&M lineup. Gives her a little bit of confidence. At least a reset. Erase the last inning. It's gone. We're within striking distance now.
KK Dement flips it foul, so the count's 0-2. The bar has pitched in a lot of big moments, a lot of big games for Liberty the last couple of seasons. 0-2. That runs away. And we'll have another circle visit. Casey Fagan, the pitching coach for Liberty.
You can tell that
there's the rosin.
That heat, it's getting to everybody here within this. I think I always say this, I like the timeout, but again, you're getting to a point in the game. A&M, they're going through their lineup for the second time through. You're gonna have to be a little bit sharper, but also you can see head coach Dot Richardson, she's out there, Dr. Dot, talking to her defense. Hey, this is where her spray chart is. This is what we're gonna be pitching. We're gonna try to draw them into this. There's opportunity for a double play. It's just a quick reminder. And you look at what happened an inning ago, there were 4 plays, all consecutive, that happened within each other where those 4 runs came from. They didn't call timeout once. I like the timeout here because it gives them that moment to reset.
Slows things down. Dement gets back in the box and rips one fair down the line. Harper around second. Dorr plays this one in. Stop sign at third. Runners in scoring position for the Aggies. Dement was ready, and the rookie rips it for a double.
Her second hard hit in as many at-bats. This one on the inner half of the corner. Not a bad pitch at all, but you could see how quickly her barrel whipped through that zone. She was able to get her hands to it. A&M, they talk a lot about getting their barrel on the plane of the ball as soon as possible, and that's what you saw there from the freshman, KK Dement. Got to tip my cap to Dorr. What a play. I mean, she is playing almost in the left center gap to be able to get, that ball was ripped down the line, to get all the way down to the deepest part of the field. Being able to throw it in, not have that run score, that is huge.
1-0 pitch to Allie Enright is cut at and missed. And for a moment there, I thought that Harper was going to get that wave, but that's a couple of times this Liberty defense has just played the ball in very quickly. Enright rips it deep out to center. This is plenty deep enough. Throw goes to third. Runners are both safe. 5-0 A&M. A little bit of a wipeout at third, but they increase the lead. 2 outs now in the third.
Nice rip to deep, deep center field. How about KK DeMint? Trying to get in, not able to stop in time.
Whoa.
A little bit of an oopsies. But hey, check out that hand. She made sure to keep it on the bag. We've all been there.
Looking up at Jeff Harger, the third base coach, saying, really? All I was trying to do was just slow down here. 5-3 A&M. Kramer Eshte in the box now. Counts 2-0.
Really good height on that pitch. It's maybe a little outside. I think that's something that Escobar has been searching for, is that strike call. You see the difference between that pitch and this one. It's a lot more on the plate. It's a little bit lower. As a hitter, I will take that pitch over the other one. That is a strike zone where you have to be very careful how far in you can bring it. That's where, as a pitcher, you go, can I bring it in half a centimeter versus half a ball?
2-2 is high, so the count goes full.
Look at how this inning started. Very eerily similar to the last. Started off with a quick out. A walk, of course, to Mari Harper.
Payoff is fielded. No signal. No, this from our home plate umpire. He says that is foul. That one looked like it clearly was wide of the line.
Great snag by Crane. You've seen her make a couple of just fantastic catches. Such a good job whenever the ball's just shot her way, just staying low defensively, not bringing that chest up, not bringing her body up, just really doing a good job staying low and reacting.
Another payoff. Called third strike and the inning is over.
Saddled up, you got some pom-poms, you got the crowd. They're feisty. They're feisty.
This stage, this big stage, it is nothing new for this Liberty program. Not by any stretch of the imagination. So there is Kennedy. She gave up the 3 runs. And here's another long drive, but foul down the line. Savannah Jessie leads off 8-9-1 for Liberty, due up in the 4th. So Kennedy gave up the 3 runs in the top half of the 3rd.
Well, talk about being feisty. I mean, that's where postseason gets fun. That's where you love to watch it unfold. Whether you're Liberty or A&M, you live for these moments. These are fun. It's fun to compete. It's fun to be in a game like this where you're scratching and clawing back and forth, back and forth. You have the heat, you have the competition, you have the feisty coaches on both sides. That is fun. And the competitors, they stand up to that and they go, right on, let's go.
Yeah, how do the best ones and the best teams stay so poised and measured in these sort of games, situations? Here's a 1-2. It's popped up. Wooley's got it. 1 away.
The biggest thing is Coach Ford for Texas A&M. She talks about this a lot. Practice, you go to work in practice. In the games, you play the games. She talks all the time about it's 2 very, very distinct things. They're very separate from one another. Make those practices hard. So whenever you're in these situations, I've been there. I've practiced this a million times. I've practiced being down. I've practiced having to come back from a 3-0 count if you're Emily Kennedy. And whenever you do that day in and day out, it becomes easy. Not only does it become easy, as an athlete, you go, it's kind of fun. How many times can I do this in a row? Can I do it again? Can I do it a little bit better?
Oh, there's a base hit here for Savannah Watley. So a 1-out base runner for Liberty. Liberty has put the ball into play against Kennedy. 7 hits now off of the All-American from a year ago. That is the most hits that Kennedy has allowed in more than a month since April 11th. And this is just the 4th inning. Back to the top of the order, Savannah Woodard. Grounded out hard to the first baseman to end the 2nd. Also struck out to begin the game. Off speed, catches it up for the plate. Counts quickly 0-2.
Love that look from Kennedy. Haven't seen too many off speeds, but whenever she does, it's deadly enough that as a hitter you have to pay attention.
Oh, Woodard chased it. 2 gone.
And that's what that pitch does. It disrupts your timing, disrupts your game plan. Ends up going and chasing after pitches like this one. Talk about some breakaway. Kennedy flashing her drop curve. Man, that is nasty.
Rachel Roop bounces it over to Powell, and they get the force out. Coco Woolley takes a strike. Yeah, she has made some nice plays on many occasions now in this one. Woolley strikes it foul, so Escobar's got a chance here to go 1-2-3. It's a 2-run game, nearly 4 innings through. It is so pivotal to win this one. Right back to Crane. Well, games today have gone final. We begin the 5th inning here at Bryan-College Station. Davis Dime in the spot with Nicole Mendez, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. Bryn McManus and the heart of the Liberty order at the plate in a 5-3 game. This one is so critical. The winner of this game to the regional final tomorrow, and you have the major upper hand. The team that loses this would then have to play later today and win that game just to punch its ticket to the regional final. But then you'd have to beat the team you lost to twice in order to reach the Supers. Emily Kennedy is been in a groove of late. Gave up the 3 runs in the 3rd. But she's now retired 4 out of the last 5. It's got to get through the heart of the order. McManus. What do you do with that one? That's 5 strikeouts for the senior from the Woodlands, Texas.
I mean, this pitch is dirty. Look at how it comes across the plate and drops down at the last minute. That is some crazy movement there from Emily Kennedy.
That is just a defeated look on McManus's face. That's a filthy pitch. Alyssa Hedall tries to bunt. That pitch comes inside. It's topped foul. So 5, by the way, 5 regional or national seeds, I should say, have played today. 5 of those games featuring national seeds have gone final. And in all 5, the national seed, pardon me, has advanced to the regional final. So A&M would like to be the next. That pitch is a little low and away, so 2 balls and a strike. Alabama, a test earlier from Virginia Tech. It was a 4-3 final score that saw the 15 national seed advance to the regional final. Counts 3 balls and a strike. Kennedy nibbling at the edges of the zone.
That's what she does best. That one, whenever you're going in on the inner half, Liberty, they've swung at those pitches before. It's always worth a shot. Get that one on the outer corner. Matt Barbara, I don't think we've talked about her enough. Emily Kennedy is a great pitcher, but we all know behind every great pitcher, there's a catcher with the bruises and the framing. Tries to bring that one back over the plate. You can see Emily Kennedy, she's asking, where was that one missing? Again, behind every great pitcher, there's a great catcher. Barbara, she's kind of walking out there just saying, hey, missed outside a little bit, no big deal. Let's get a double play right here. This defense right now for the Aggies set up for it.
Olivia Johnson, remember, began the year as the starting catcher for Texas A&M. She has been out with an injury. So who has been behind the plate? It's been a little bit of a rotation at times this year. Barbara has really cemented this role in recent weeks. Runner on the move, and it looked like Madry got hit. So the home plate umpire throws his arms up and says that Madry was hit. Liberty has a pair of runners on.
Yeah, and that pitch gets in a little tight on the shin. I've seen Kennedy trying to reach for that inside half of that plate, trying to get those lefties to go after it. This one gets away from her a little bit too much. And I think you can see that deflection. You can see the ball change its path. I mean, from somebody who throws as hard as Kennedy, to get a ball to the shin and just keep going, that is not something done lightly.
Well, the protest, by the way, from the Texas A&M dugout was, was she still offering at that pitch when she was hit? That's in for a strike to Paige Dorr, who homered her last time up. That last replay we saw, it does look like she was pulling it back, was not offering at the pitch per se as she got hit. Half swing, bouncer to Woolley, on to second for one. They can't turn it, so there are 2 outs. But now for a second straight batter, Kennedy has to pitch with the tying run on base. And Rachel Crane, who's made brilliant defensive plays over at third, is at the plate looking for her first hit. It would be a big one.
It's a great situation here for Crane. Runners on first and third. So there's always a call play in action that you have the opportunity to do. You can see head coach Dot, she's calling out some numbers. Puts this defense on edge, on alert.
Outside edge for a strike. Liberty is 4 for 8 at the plate today with 2 outs. All 3 of the runs scored in that 3rd inning after the first 2 hitters were retired. Crane did offer, and Kennedy is a strike away from stranding a couple of more runners. Remember, Liberty left the bases loaded in the first, left a runner at second in the second frame, left a runner on in the 4th. Here we go. Runner on the move. Barbara just puts it in her back pocket. So Dorr is in scoring position. That could be a big factor here. Tying run is possibly a base hit away from coming home.
On the golden bag, that's where you want to get, second base.
The senior waiting. 1-2, swing and a miss. Kennedy lets out a roar. Inning over. 2 strikeouts in that frame for the All-American. She's got 6 today.
Emily Kennedy pulling the string of Filthy.
And then would have to beat whoever ultimately reaches the regional final twice on Sunday. Leadoff hitter for A&M, Maya Perez. And she is now 0 for 3. So Escobar has retired her 3 times today. A couple of pop-ups and a strikeout. Nicole, we're in the bottom of the 5th now, so we're getting deeper into this battle of the winners. This first game on Saturday of the regional round is always critical. The odds heavily favor the team that wins this game and reaches the regional final by winning their first 2. We just explained it a moment ago. The team that wins this game has to get taken out twice on Sunday in order to be eliminated. So you get 2 chances to win on Sunday to get to the Supers. This is Mac Barbara, fouls that one back.
I mean, it is a grind.
Yeah.
If you lose this game, immediately have to turn around, play a doubleheader today. Then tomorrow, if you want to get out of this regional, you got to get another doubleheader. 2 wins in a row. Not an easy task. Not just here at this regional, but across the country. There's been a lot of tight games yesterday, a lot of tight games today. A lot of softball on, though, if you want to keep up. That's the best part about postseason. It's Anywhere you look on any channel, it's there. And the quality, the level that you get to see, it's anybody's game. Look at this game, for example. A&M up only by 2. So multiple times Liberty has had the tying run, the winning run on. Yep. Go ahead.
Barbara blasts this one high in the air. Roop's got the sunglasses down. 2 quick outs. Well, and listen, Liberty's still in this game because Elena Escobar, pitcher of the year in the conference, has really settled into a groove now. She's retired 7 in a row going back to the 3rd inning. She's given up 5. Only 3 are earned. Amari Harper has yet to be retired this weekend. But that's why that 2nd inning is one we're going to talk about. We'll see just how much it will loom large as we get closer to the finish line in this game. Harper jammed. Crane is there. It's another 1-2-3 inning. And Escobar has retired 8 in a row. She's keeping her team in it. Liberty back at the plate in the 6th.
Like a relentless weed, moderate to severe ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep coming back. Break away to what's possible with Tremfya, with rapid relief at 4 weeks. Many people experienced remission at 1 and even 2 years. Some saw 100% visible healing of their intestinal lining. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Tremfya is now approved for Crohn's disease. Ask your doctor about Tremfya.
So with Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more?
Yeah, home, car, motorcycle, all bundled together. Just like that breakfast burrito.
So can I get chorizo?
Yeah, metaphorically, yeah.
Carnitas.
Just chicken. Just give me a bunch of chicken.
Oh, bacon?
Oh, wait, there isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a sensitive palate.
I actually like hot sauce. Can I get chips?
How about guacamole?
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore.
Burritos.
Sure.
Okay.
For bundling made easy, get more with Geico.
With new Mixing Bowl Mashup plus fan favorite s'mores, the new DQ Summer Blizzard menu calls for a
trade proposal.
Deal. Try the new DQ Summer Blizzard menu because nothing says summer like baseball and Blizzard treats.
I use PayPal to buy this ticket. I'm paying it off over time. No fees, no interest.
You know what else has no interest? Me.
You can pay your own way.
Oh, excuse me, sir?
Yeah?
The captain needs you back in the cockpit.
Oh, yeah, sir.
What?
Sunshine.
Emily Kennedy, one of the best pitchers, not just in this regional, but in the nation. She's been absolutely dealing this game. A lot of strikeouts, but more so recently, that curve drop that she has been spinning has been so effective. Gotten her out of a couple of jams so far. She's spinning a web.
That is accurate. Hey, she left the bases loaded in the 1st. Stranded a runner in scoring position at 2nd in the 2nd, and then stranded 2 in scoring position in the 5th inning. Liberty is like someone that walks through that cobweb. You're not quite comfortable. It always don't feel good.
I mean, she's all about the setup.
Oh, that one runs in, and it hits the leadoff hitter, Savannah Jesse. She just looked at her dugout and said, let's go. We've got the leadoff runner on.
And
in a 2-run game.
It's about that time. Whenever you get to this point in the game, I mean, that is a hard act to take. You could tell she was looking for that one. Kind of hits that back arm.
But it was, she triumphantly popped up there and looked at the dugout. That is going to be a bruise in a couple of days here, probably tomorrow.
If you're Liberty, your thought process here in the 6th is by whatever means necessary. You could see that dugout running to the front to congratulate her for, hey, you got on base. That is huge. This is how we want to start off this inning.
Hydorn pitch runs. Liberty only has 6 outs to work with. Savannah Watley 1 for 2 today. Watley has to leap out of the way. That pitch ran in. So Kennedy commanding the inside portion of the plate. I just want to go back to Emily for a moment. She has won her last 5 starts. 5 or more innings in all of them against teams like Texas, South Carolina, Tennessee twice, Arkansas as well. These are top 8 national seeds. 1-1 pitch. That's tapped. Back up the middle. Could be a double play ball. Woolley, wide throw. And now Watley's trying to get around the first baseman. We see Kaylee Young, the first base umpire, signaling that obstruction call. Yeah.
Clear obstruction. It's a hard play as a first baseman. She's trying to make that play. I mean, so close to a quick double play. But that ball just taking her to the backside of first base. Whenever you're going that way and you're rounding the bag trying to get around, I mean, there's nowhere that you can go. That's the right choice as a runner. That ball is past you. You're getting there easily, no questions asked. But you made the great point as Coach Ford, she's kind of having a conversation, just making sure, all right, is everything on the up and up? A&M, whenever Emily Kennedy makes that start, a lot of success. But Liberty, they've had 18 comeback wins so far this season, 6 of them when trailing in the 6th or later.
That is huge. That is a lot of come from behind victories. It's a third of your wins, basically.
And she's had a lot, Liberty, from a lot of power conferences, teams like Virginia, Alabama, Louisville, UCF, Rutgers. They're no stranger to being able to have to fight, to dig, to claw. Whenever you have a coach like head coach Dot Richardson, you have to be a little feisty.
You know, by the way, in this situation, it works out as if they actually did move the runner over with a bunt, because Watley is now in scoring position. There's an out on the board, so it's basically the same outcome.
There's also, you can see Watley kind of tenderly touching her teeth. Typically wears a face mask on defense. Offensively, a bit of sensitivity still with her teeth. Kind of been in and out these last few weeks, last few months of the season with injuries, concussion. She had an injury where her front row of teeth were just pushed back. Sensitive area of the mouth. Don't want to be running into anybody with tender teeth like that.
Feels like 104 in Bryan-College Station. The heat is on the biggest stage, the postseason. Emily Kennedy misfires that time to Savannah Woodard. This is the top of the Liberty order now. They've got a runner in scoring position in the late innings. Texas A&M with the lead. Swing, that one's looping. Woolley off of the mitt and down. She scooped it, but it was after it hit the grass. And that would likely be a hit for Woodard. And so now you've got runners at the corners. Woolley got her glove on it, just couldn't squeeze it. Brilliant effort.
I mean, that is a heck of a play. You can see the first step back, the drop step, not reaching until absolutely the last minute. But it's right at that moment where that ball hits that glove squeeze just a tad too early. Great effort. Woolley, amazing range over there at short.
Really dangerous hitter. Rachel Roop, Player of the Year in Conference USA.
And that's who you want up to bat with 2 runners on base. Again, the come from behind from Liberty. They are a tough, tough team facing a very tough pitcher.
That runs inside. Runner coming home. The flip is late. No flip. 1-run game. No hesitation from Watley.
Emily Kennedy, she likes to go inside on hitters. We have a new catcher behind the plate, gets just a little crossed up. And right there, that is what getting on base, being aggressive with your base running, that gives you that opportunity.
Roop fouls that one towards the dugout. Matt Barbara was just substituted out of the game. It's Grayson Coleman behind the plate. Big spot in the 6th inning. Now Woodard is in scoring position. That's the tying run at second. Kennedy a little low, and so now it's a favorable count for Rachel Roop, who is 1 for 3 today. Look at the numbers.
I mean, they speak for themselves.
3-1, that's fading, shallow center, base hit. Woodard had to freeze, throw to third, and Jensen just ahead of the throw, barely. So Woodard did not slide, went into third base standing. It was a lot closer than it first looked as if it was going to be. This is Enright's throw to third.
In that initial read, you can tell immediately that ball is dropping. If you're Woodard, you need to be farther off the bag than that. But then, whenever you're coming into third, making sure you always slide. I mean, that game of inches, but talk about what kind of momentum that would have been if you had gotten thrown out at third after creating all this chaos.
Still just 1 out. Bryn McManus takes a strike on the outside edge. The resilient Liberty Flames. They were down 4-0 and 5-3. Now it's a 1-run game in the 6th. Tying run at third. McManus bounces it with the infield in. Powell's throw is on target. So Roop does get to second base, but there are 2 outs, and Alyssa Hedall is expected to hit next.
You look at how Liberty has scored their runs so far this game. They had that one massive home run, but beyond that, how they've gotten their runners on just by passing the bat. Nothing too overwhelming. They just get on base.
Hedall, base hit. The tying run scores. Here comes Roop. Liberty back on top. It's a 2-run single for Alyssa Hedall to put the visitors ahead with 2 out in the 6th.
This is it. Not trying to overswing. This is where it comes from. She knew right away. Hedall celebrating. You get it onto the ground. You make those outfielders have to work deep into the gap, converge on the gap. You're going to get 2 runs easily across the plate.
KK Madry drills one deep to right. Gone! 2-run blast! Liberty with a haymaker in the 6th.
KK Madry started off this game with a bunt. That's who you think of whenever you think of KK Madry. Speed, short game, the strategy. Then this comes out. An absolute bomb out to right center. In Liberty, the come from behind, they are now up 8-5.
And a little gritty, by the way, on the way in. Oh, so doing it in style. A massive turn of events in the 6th inning. The #1 seed in the tournament went into this frame up 5-3 with the All-American in the circle. And Dot Richardson's team has scored 5 runs. You were talking about the comeback Flames just a few moments ago. Paige Dorr back at the plate. She drilled that 2-run home run off of Kennedy in the 3rd. So she is now allowed a pair of homers. Just the 2nd homer of the year for Madry. That time Kennedy fools Dorr and the inning is over. The ultimate 2-out rally. Liberty.
Again, that just really felt like Liberty. Okay, not only do we have 1 run, we are going to have some runs to spare against a very good offensive A&M team.
Back in the circle, Elena Escobar. who was retired 8 straight Aggies hitters. She gave up 4 runs in the second, but 2 of those were unearned. And then a run in the 3rd inning. A&M was up 5-3 at the time. Off speed there fools the freshman KK Dement. So for A&M in the 6th inning, Dement, Enright, and Eshtay, 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup. We were just talking about top half of this inning. Liberty had 6 outs to work with. Here's the #1 national seed that only has 6 outs to work with here. If they want to avoid having to play in an elimination game later today. 8-5. Dement 2 for 2 today and has worked the count full. Escobar, meanwhile, has just gone over 100 pitches. The pitcher of the year in Conference USA this season. A career year for the senior from Spring Hill, Tennessee. Misses a little low. So that is in one dugout. That's the worst possible thing you want to see. The leadoff walk. On the other side of things, nothing better than getting the first runner on.
Nothing better. KK Dement trying to get something started.
And now it's the 3rd-year Aggie, Allie Enright, the senior from Santa Clarita, California. Now she drove in that run in the 3rd with her sacrifice fly to straightaway center.
And the Aggies, they've been aggressive against Escobar. They've had 13 batters in this game swing within the first 2 pitches. They are attacking, they're hunting.
This one up the middle. The second baseman, Woodard, throws late to first. That was a nice backhanded stop to begin with to get the lead runner at second. So Enright will be at first base. Kramer Eshtay, the 8-hitter, is up next. Woodard covering a lot of ground to make that play.
I mean, that was a great play there. Good job by Woodard just hanging on. The way her momentum and the quickness of how that play unfolded, that was the right call to take this one herself. Even though her shortstop was already there, there was no time for her to be able to toss it. She was too close to the bag. Her momentum pulling her too quickly.
Dot Richardson's having a conversation very quickly with our second base umpire, Mike Burrell. And his answer was perhaps satisfactory enough. She's walking back to the dugout now. Nicole, it's very simple. Winner of this game to the regional final. Double elimination format in this first weekend of the NCAA tournament. So you can take a loss. The second one will send you back home. That bunt is foul. Eshtay was trying to move Enright into scoring position, so everybody will head back to their original starting points here. So the loser of this game would then face the winner of our second game. You just saw it there a couple of moments ago. St. Francis and Marist will play. We will say goodbye, unfortunately, to 2 teams in this regional today. Eshtay swinging away. Foul tips that into the mitt. And it does seem like Escobar, who picked up the win yesterday, the victory against Marist, is feeling pretty confident right now.
Again, she is used to throwing a lot of innings. She's used to carrying this team. Just last weekend, she had 3 games, consecutive days, 98 pitches, 163, 80 pitches in those games. Yesterday, she threw 116. Now she's up to 108.
163 in that 10-inning walk-off win that vaulted them to the Conference USA Tournament Championship game.
She's tough. That's what that tells me about this pitcher.
That's blasted foul again. So Eshtay has fought off a couple of pitches. Still protecting with 2 strikes. So Escobar starts at North Alabama. A couple of good seasons there. But her first 2 seasons, Liberty was still in the Atlantic Sun. Dot Richardson's team faced her for a couple of seasons. She beat her current team once or twice. Winds up joining this team and has been excellent last couple of seasons. 2 outs in the 6th. If you're just hopping aboard right now, look at the score. Liberty 8, Texas A&M 5. A 5-run top of the 6th for the Flames. Have them in front and 4 outs away from going to a regional final for a second straight year. This is the 9-hitter, Kelsey Mathis.
And if you can get this out here, that's a great place to be. You flip that lineup over, but you're not quite yet at the heart of that lineup going into the 7th if you're Liberty.
Texas A&M #1 seed in this tournament for the first time ever. A very fitting #1. 46-win season. Led the nation in ranked wins, wins against ranked opponents. Brilliant resume. Right now,
backs against the wall a little bit.
They are.
But they've practiced this, and this is why they're #1.
2-1 ripped into left, a base hit. And so now the tying run is coming to the plate, and that is the leadoff hitter, Kennedy Powell. So you just said it, partner. A&M has got this very talented top half of the order now, about to face Escobar again.
This one, it's the elevation on this pitch. It's a rise ball that didn't quite get that late jump. Just stays right at waist height. That's an easy ball for Mathis to be able to get around and get through the infield.
Powell is hitless today. She's 0 for 3. Flips this in the air, but a lazy pop up to door. Liberty top of the 6th against the All-American from a year ago, Emily Kennedy. The senior back in the circle faces Rachel Crane. 7, 8, and 9 in the Flames order. That one is in for a strike, so Kennedy quickly gets ahead of Crane, who she struck out twice. Liberty scores 4 of those 5 runs with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Breaking pitch runs inside.
Talk about toughness. Talk about passing the bat. That's a sign of a really good team. Whenever I look at that stat, how many runs can you score with runners in scoring position, but also how many runs can you score with 2 outs? That tells me it doesn't matter. It's just all you need is 1 pitch. That's the mindset that a team has. If you give me 1 pitch, I'm right back in it. If you give me 1 pitch, I'm getting on base. Liberty, they're fighters. We've talked about this yesterday, talked about it today. They're a tough, tough team.
2-2, flared out to center. Enright's got it lined up, 1 away. Liberty, the 2-time defending Conference USA champions, who won this game a year ago, remember. They knocked the national seed Georgia to the loser's side of the bracket a year ago, before they were ultimately ousted by Georgia in 2 games on that Sunday. This is Savannah Jessie. They've won 48 games this year. You said it last half inning. 18 of those wins come from behind wins. That is a lot. That's nearly half. It's well more than 1/3 of your wins are in come from behind fashion. Not to mention the bevy of wins against power conference teams. There's not many mid-majors that play as strong of an out-of-conference schedule that Liberty does every year, year after year after year. They have been building towards that first breakthrough. The Flames have never gotten to a super regional. They've never been one of the final 16 teams left standing in this tournament. So close a year ago. 2-1, that's wide and foul down the line. So the count evens. These are the wins just this year alone. They had a pretty good record, by the way, against the ACC. They're not in the ACC, but they had a pretty good ACC record. Win against Virginia, North Carolina, Louisville. Beat a very good Central Florida team. That's a tournament regular. But back in February, the win against a ranked Alabama team. That really set the tone for the season. One of their first wins.
Tell you what, this win means a lot for both of these teams. Obviously, Texas A&M hosting, want to get to that winner's bracket final.
Check swing. I think she went around. Jesse is out. So that is 8 strikeouts for Kennedy.
Nice job. It's that same pitch again. That drop ball just kind of tails down at the last minute. That late break. A lot of these hitters for Liberty, they're having a hard time laying off that pitch. I would go there again and again until they make that adjustment.
Savannah Watley spoils the first pitch foul. Remember, it was Watley who got into scoring position after the Coco Woolley throwing error in the top half of the 6th inning. She later scored the first run of the frame for Liberty on a pass ball that got by the catcher, Grayson Coleman, who had just came in as a defensive replacement for Mac Barbara. So it was a dubious top half of the 6th for the Aggies in a lot of ways. And then Heno Madry's clutch. 2-out big hits, each scored pair of runs. All of a sudden you look up and Liberty goes from 2 runs down in the top half of the 6th to being 6 outs away from sending the 1 seed to an elimination game later. That's just off the outer edge.
Needs a little bit more here for Liberty. Whenever you look at pitching stats, you look at depth of these 2 teams. Lena Escobar, how much more it would mean for Liberty to be able to have her rest the rest of today, have to go tomorrow, but she doesn't have to battle a doubleheader today and a doubleheader on Sunday to get out of this regional. Versus A&M, yes, Emily Kennedy carries a bulk of their innings. They do have a couple of other arms that they can go to in that pitching staff. So whenever you look at the side-by-side comparison, who does it benefit the most numbers-wise, depth-wise? It's for sure Liberty.
This is just a massive opportunity for the Flames that you just do not want to waste. 3-2, cut at and missed. Emily Kennedy with a pair of strikeouts in that 7th. Texas A&M, the #1 seed in the field, has 3 outs to rally, or it's going to an elimination game later today.
Oh, great presentation, Tim. Could you email me the part about Geico, making it easy to switch and save hundreds?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You don't know my name, do you?
Of course I know your name. I just get you mixed up with the other guy. What's his name? What's your name?
Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
Could you just tell me? I want this to be over.
Belugas have the IQ of a human genius.
You know what else is genius, Richard? Getting a lower rate on your auto insurance by having NerdWallet match you with top providers.
Wow. Wait, you have insurance?
Rain, make it, rain, girl, make it.
You again. Everybody's loving that Grubhub deal with Prime, huh?
Should we just start carpooling? Amazon Prime member, you can get $0 delivery fees on Grubhub. Eligible orders only. Terms and additional fees apply.
We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Let's just get one of everything.
Everything.
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef!
This is so nice.
3% cash back on chicken.
Yes, chef!
3% cash back on risotto.
Yes, chef!
Where's my fish?
Here, chef!
Had a feeling you want to earn 3% cash back on dessert.
Sorry, chef!
What's in your wallet?
The Liberty Flames are 3 outs away from advancing to the regional final tomorrow and sending the #1 seed in the field to an elimination game later today. Elena Escobar in the circle has gone 6 strong innings. She has really been dialed in the last 3 frames. 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, they have been scoreless innings. She's allowed just 1 hit as well. And Nicole, this Flames team, they won this game a year ago. They're trying to do it for a 2nd straight season and send A&M to the wrong side of the bracket.
Not an easy path right here. Yes, they have the lead, but one of the best hitters, one of the hottest hitters in the country right now, Coco Woolley. She's going to lead it off. You have a power hitter with Maya Perez, Mac Barbara, and Amari Harper. Those are your first 4 batters.
2, 3, and 4 in the order to face the righty. Woolley, Perez, and Barbara. One of the purest hitters in the nation. It's a batting average close to 400 this season. But at the top of the A&M order, they have been tamed by Escobar. Counts 0-2. 1 through 4 in the order without a hit. 0-2. That's down the line. It's fading. On the chalk line, it's fair. Woolley gets aboard to kick off this 7th inning. And A&M would love for it to be the rally. Rally hats are on.
Rally hats are on. Coco Woolley just punching this ball. I mean, that's as close to the line as you can get. She's not trying to overpower, overswing. Just great barrel control on that slap.
So Dot Richardson walking to the home plate umpire. Is she signaling to put the headset on? Suppose you got nothing to lose. She's got 2 challenges. Well, yep.
But I think that was the right call from that video that we saw.
Yep.
It was on the right side of the field. But let's...
Liberty is challenging that the ball was fouled. That play will be under review.
Yep, so this one will go to Pittsburgh. That was Mike Burrell, our crew chief. And you're right on it, partner. The shot we saw down the line, that definitely gets a piece of the chalk. Closer than I thought initially. Again, we need something definitive. Yeah, I mean, you could see it get a piece of the white.
Yeah, and I think the angle from here, this is the best angle that you can see. Whenever it lands, it's on chalk completely. It has that chalk line. I mean, if you're Coco Woolley, you can't place it any better. If you're Dot Richardson, you want to argue that. Absolutely. You're in the 7th. You don't want A&M to create any kind of momentum. And this is a very, very close play.
Again, it's worth pointing out.
You never know how they're going to interpret it, right?
For sure. But it is worth pointing out that this one was called fair.
The field has been upheld. The ball is fair.
Yep, so that was...
That'll be Liberty's first challenge.
That was a quick one. So Liberty does lose that challenge. They obviously have one more. But if you're Richardson, like you said, you can at least let the replay center interpret it the way they would like. Escobar has to lock back in here. It faces Maya Perez, one of the dangerous power hitters in the SEC this year. A breakout season, 434 average, 14 homers. She's hitless today. She's lifted a couple of fly balls, 1 out to left, 1 to center.
And she's gotten a hold of those. They have the height. She was just a little under it. That's a dangerous combination whenever you have that kind of hitter. That tells me
chases that, it's foul.
She's seeing that pitch. She's just missing. And if you're a hitter and you've ever been in that situation, you're going, oh, I'm on her. I'm having the right pitch selection. Can I get a little bit flatter? So if I'm her, I'm thinking, let me try to hit something down into the ground. Let me try to hit a line drive, see if I can bounce that out.
0-2 to Perez. Bounces it, but that's foul. Remember, you got all sorts of speed at first base in Woolley. Very athletic runner. Texas A&M 16 come from behind wins themselves this year. That's about 1/3 of their wins. 6th most in Division I. Swing, that's a high drive. Madry back near the track. Madry's got it for the first out. Throw to second, and Woolley gets into scoring position. Well, if you're Escobar, again, Woolley's in scoring position, but the main task is the batter. Tying run, of course, not on base. The tying run is on deck in this case. Mac Barbara re-enters the game. The cleanup hitter, also hitless. About to face Escobar for a 4th time today.
Again, same result. High fly balls. Hit it well. Just a little under. If you're Mac Barbara, you're looking to hit something low in the zone like that pitch that you just saw. That's the one you want to hunt. Look low in the zone, keep that ball, hard line drives, especially with your speed on second.
Bouncer to the right side. Backhanded try. The first baseman, McManus, beats Barber to the bag. Liberty is an out away from sending Texas A&M to an elimination game later today. And vaulting, more importantly, to the regional final.
Gotta go through Amari Harper first. 3 for 3 yesterday. Double the RBIs.
Looking for her first hit today to extend this one. You know, we saw one national seed lose yesterday, LSU. Duke becomes the second national seed to lose today. Arkansas nearly blew it earlier today against Oklahoma State. They rallied for a couple of runs in the 7th inning against OK State, ultimately beat them in the 8th inning. A&M needs a dramatic comeback like that right here. Here's a 1-1. Swing and a drive. This is down the line. It's fading into foul ground. It's off of Dorr's mitt. It's a foul ball. Dorr was trying to end the game right there.
This as an outfielder, especially whenever you see it fading foul, that wind blowing that way, you want to make sure you're not coasting with the ball, you're sprinting all the way. Great effort by Dorr. But especially with the lefty hitter up, you're going to get that ball to fade away. Got to make sure you're on it.
Liberty, huge moment for the program. 1-2 is high.
Thing to note, though, for Liberty, they scored 4 runs with 2 outs. A&M, their mindset is as long as we have 1 pitch. But Liberty, they've done everything right this game. They put themselves in the best situation.
2-2, outside corner, call third strike. Liberty with a celebration. They're going to the regional final. One of the biggest wins in program history. 8-5, the final over the #1 seed in the field.
We talked about it time and time again. Liberty, one of the toughest teams. Whenever they get sent to a regional, teams have to watch out. This is the punch out. This is how this game ends. A ball tight on the corner. Escobar, an absolute web gem of a game. One of the biggest wins, as you said, that Liberty has won to date.
A monumental win. Their 5th regional win against an SEC opponent since 2018. They are 5-5 against power conference opponents.